Namaste. Daja
Shalom.
Bonjour, moi je parle français, c'est ma langue maternelle.
Когда я был маленький, я жил в России.
Eu sou brasileiro.
Sou Novana. Oi, Selamina.
আমি বাঙালি আর বাংলা ভাষা পৃথিবীর সবচেয়ে মধুর ভাষা।
The world speaks in many ways. Expressions, gestures, a subtle nod, an enthusiastic greeting, a solemn wave of goodbye. Every language forms an integral part of their people's ethnic identity. Languages hold and nurture our infinite creative diversity. But the road hasn't been easy. Across lands, so many had to stand up to defend their mother tongues and heritage. Protests, wars, hundreds sacrificed. In 2000, UNESCO adopted 21st February as the International Mother Language Day as a tribute to the historic movement of the Bengali people to protect their mother tongue back in 1952. Every language is unique in its own way, every voice beautiful for the variety it brings. Languages cannot be confined within boundaries of letters, nations, or culture. Languages connect with all their diversity. This year, on the International Mother Language Day, we celebrate the beauty of linguistic diversity. We celebrate the gift of 7,000 languages.
সুপ্রভাত ব্রাজিল, শুভ সকাল দক্ষিণ আমেরিকা। Bonjour Brazil, শুভ সন্ধ্যা বাংলাদেশ। Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Her Excellency Sadia Faizannessa, Ambassador of Bangladesh to Brazil, and the Embassy of Bangladesh in Brasilia, I welcome you to the celebration of International Mother Language Day 2022. I am Samia Isratrani, your host for this morning. আজ অমর একুশে, আমাদের প্রাণের একুশ। 21st February, the number 21, একুশ, has a passionate resonance to it. The 21st year of our life is a coming of age of youth. And since the 52nd day of the year 1952, the number 21 emerged with a stronger passion, the day of Bhasha Andolon, the language movement, which made us aware of our distinct identity and inspired us to demand what is rightfully ours. In a way, the seed of independence was sown in that historic struggle for language. Today, the Embassy celebrates the International Mother Language Day, partnering with UNESCO in Brazil and the government of the Federal District. Our audience today is not limited to Brazil only. It is being webcasted globally. So our audience is watching us from different corners of the world. To name a few, Argentina, Paraguay, Bolivia, Canada, the USA, and of course, we have a big audience in Bangladesh. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure, I acknowledge the kind presence of Her Excellency Sadia Faizannessa, the Ambassador of Bangladesh to Brazil. It is my distinct honor to acknowledge the kind presence of Ambassador Shabir Ahmed Chaudhry, respected Secretary West in charge of Europe and Americas from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dhaka, Bangladesh. We are truly honored to have you with us here today, sir. I acknowledge the kind presence of Ms. Marlova Jovshelovich Noleto, Director and a representative of UNESCO in Brazil, the keynote speaker for this morning. From the embassy in Brasilia, we have our defense attaché, Commodore Syed Misbauddin Ahmed. From Cochabamba, Bolivia, we have Mr. Eddie Avila, the Director of Activismo Linguas, who is our guest speaker today. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge and welcome each one of our audiences who are watching us today through Facebook, in home and abroad, across the continents. Our sincere greetings to you all. Excellencies, distinguished guests, we are indeed honored and delighted to have you on this blended virtual platform to celebrate International Mother Language Day. The day, 21st February, is of immense importance to us. We are happy. Our government has declared the year 2021-2022 as the golden jubilee of our independence. And as you are kindly aware, Bangladesh is also celebrating the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. We are hoping that after having the 2021st IMLD celebration in a virtual platform, this year in 2022, we'll be able to have the traditional International Mother Language Day celebration with live events. However, the world is still fighting against the common nemesis. The beacon of hope is still that humanity is gradually gaining points with worldwide vaccination and stronger health and hygiene protocols. The advent of global pandemic, however, taught us to adapt ourselves with the new normal, hence today's event. Today, we pay our deepest homage to all the language martyrs who sacrificed their lives on 21st February 1952. We also remember with deep respect our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led the language movement with his unparalleled charismatic leadership, led us in the Liberation War in 1971. Saying that, we begin this glorious morning with the immortal rendition which is sung on February 21st during the Prabhat Feri in every nook and corner of Bangladesh and in places around the world wherever there are people from Bangladesh and whoever speaks Bangla. Amar bhaiyer rokte rangano 21 February ami ki bhulite pari, which is translated as February 21st, red with the blood of my brother, how can I forget this day? We now present the embassy family singing in chorus the Ekusher Gan with a stanza in Brazilian Portuguese. Vermelho com sangue do meu irmão, 21 de fevereiro, como posso esquecê-lo? The YouTube link.
I'm sorry. I have to get off to what? It stopped. Now it's okay. Came back.
The song is happening?
No, stopped. Stopped.
Why did they cross the song?
No, it stopped.
They finished the song? Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I'm sorry there has been some disruption because the song stopped abruptly. I'm not sure what happened. But let's get along with the event. Excellencies, distinguished guests, it is my sincere honor and privilege to invite Her Excellency Sadia Faizan Nessa, Ambassador of Bangladesh to Brazil, to kindly deliver her remarks. She will focus on the Bangladesh perspective and the experience of Bangladesh in using technology for multilingual learning, challenges, and opportunities, which is the theme for this year's International Mother Language Day. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present before you Her Excellency Ambassador Sadia Faizan Nessa.
শুভ সকাল, গুড মর্নিং, বমজিয়া। আজ অমর একুশ। একুশ আমার অহংকার, যে একুশের কারণে আমার অস্তিত্ব। সেই ২১শে ফেব্রুয়ারিতে আমি বাংলাতে আমার বক্তব্য শুরু করতে পেরে গর্বিত, আনন্দিত। Excellencies, His Excellency Ambassador Shabir Ahmed Chowdhury, Honorable Secretary West, who is joining with us from Dhaka late at night, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassadors of United Kingdom, France, and Sri Lanka in Brasilia, Madame Marlova, Director UNESCO Brazil, Madame Renata Giacoum, GDF representative in Brasilia, respected Edia Vela, who has joined us from Bolivia, and my dear colleagues and dear audience. It is my honor today to be with you in Brasilia and celebrating the International Mother Language Day 2022. At the outset, I'd like to express my thanks to UNESCO Brazil and GDF Brasilia for their collaboration to host today's event. This day is observed nationally and internationally as the International Mother Language Day. In 1999, UNESCO recognized 21st February as the International Mother Language Day, and since then, UNESCO has been celebrating with Bangladesh this IMLD worldwide. The importance of the International Mother Language Day and the language movement in the history of Bengali liberation struggle is immense. The foundation for a non-communal, democratic, language-based state system was laid through this movement. I recognize and pay my deepest homage to the greatest Bengali of all time, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led in fostering the language movement from 1947 to 1952. He was imprisoned many times during this language movement for his struggle and efforts. I recall with deep reverence Bangabandhu's charismatic leadership through whose systemic struggle from 1947 to 1971 our nation could retain Bangla as our mother tongue and then achieved independence and a sovereign Bangladesh in 1971. Following our independence, Bangabandhu directed the use of Bangla in all official activities. He included Bangla as the state language in the Constitution. He delivered speech at the United Nations 29th General Assembly in Bangla and placed our mother language in the World Assembly. Today, as we celebrate International Mother Language Day and honoring 70 years of 1952 language movement, I solemnly pay my homage to all language martyrs, including Rafiq, Salam, Barkat, Jabbar, who sacrificed their lives on 21st February 2020 in 1952 for the right of Bangla, our mother tongue. Bangladesh continues to take significant measures to preserve and protect endangered languages, including the establishment of the International Mother Language Institute in Dhaka for the research and prevention of the dignity and the rights of all languages, including the ethnic and nearly extinct languages of the world. To promote multilingualism, our government has introduced textbooks in diverse ethnic languages to preserve their unique languages. This year, government distributed over 33,000 books towards this effort. The government has ensured the use of Bangla language in the ICT. This year's theme of IMLD is Using Technology for Multilingual Learning Challenges and Opportunities. We are at a critical juncture, and this focus is critical to continuing our efforts to strengthen education and learning initiatives, information and communication technology, ICT, infrastructure is a core building block for communication and learning. Bangladesh understands the importance of ICT in all spheres of development, particularly in education, and is devoting significant resources towards this effort. Bangladesh is pioneering a digital revolution under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina through the Vision 2021 initiative. In 2008, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government presented the roadmap to transform Bangladesh into a middle income country by 2021, which is our country's 50th year of nationhood, through realizing Digital Bangladesh, which aims to bring socioeconomic transformation with particular emphasis on equitable and inclusive education policy through use of technology. Bangladesh has achieved strong social and economic progress in recent years. Its economy has grown at an average rate of 6.8% during the last decade because of rising productivity. We have also recorded substantial improvement in several human development indices, including adult literacy, life expectancy at birth, and gender parity in school enrollment. 2021 marked a milestone for Bangladesh where we graduated from the ranking of a least developed countries category by the United Nations and embarked on the journey of becoming a developing economy. Our efforts in promoting and fostering internet and digital technology has played a critical role in driving economic and social development in Bangladesh. In the pursuit of the goal of a digital Bangladesh, Government of Bangladesh has adopted a master plan of ICT for education in Bangladesh for the duration of 2012 to 2021 in collaboration with UNESCO. The master plan aims to reduce the digital divide and inequalities in education and promoting cost-effective and accessible quality education, and thus is aligned with and contributes to the achievement of the 2030 Development Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals. In the pre-primary and primary education system, more than 50,000 schools have been equipped with multimedia classroom facilities, including laptop, one multimedia or LCD projectors, and internet connections. We have implemented the Access to Information, which we call A2I program, which has strengthened teachers' capacities by providing supplementary digital content tailored for the formal education sector. In addition, various national and international development actors have provided digital content for vocational skills training with the aim of providing access to quality education for all, including quality education that is relevant to the labor market, as Bangladesh has more than 10 million laborers working abroad. Mobile or smartphones are the primary means of internet access and are the principal form of digital technology used in the country, leading the forefront of this digital transformation. The country now has around 170 million mobile connections and 90 million unique mobile subscribers. Just over a quarter of the population have use of the mobile internet. The reach of mobile networks has expanded with 95% of the population covered by 3G, 4G mobile broadband networks. It is important to showcase how the use of technology, these cellular phones, have played a key role in supporting the government's policy to transfer benefits digitally instead of cash payments. One of these significant initiatives is the Primary Education Stipend Program. These, these cash stipend has traditionally been disbursed from a designated schools in the vicinity of the beneficiary's residence for families of children that attend school. In June 2017, the government of Bangladesh changed the distribution method for nearly 13 million children enrolled in the program directly to the mobile banking accounts of their nearly 10 million mothers. An overwhelming majority of both mothers and schools prefer the new system. Mothers cite greater convenience in access and more control over funds as the main reasons for their stated preference. For schools administration, the digital transfers enhance transparency and reduce the administrative burden spent on managing cash distribution. This program has significantly reduced dropout rates, reduced child marriage rates, and promoted girls and women empowerment in Bangladesh. All these positive outcomes from this initiative have led to direct positive impacts on the overall and rapid socioeconomic development of Bangladesh. Bangladesh, like every country, has had its educational institutions impacted by the global COVID-19 pandemic. It has led to the lockdown of educational institutions in Bangladesh as well. Due to our established cellular internet network and other technological advancement, the education providers in Bangladesh could adapt the system into remote and online study system in a short time. However, the suddenness of the pandemic necessitated a swift and practical response and a whole of government approach to planning and implementing digital initiatives for education for all, where no one will be left behind. Government of Bangladesh has mobilized working groups consisting of government officers, UN agency, development partners, academia, and NGOs to design learning provisions through digital delivery mechanisms. Government is planning to put improved infrastructure and support for equitable and inclusive education through use of technology to realize the new perspective plan of Bangladesh 2021 to 2041, which aims to move the country to upper middle income country status by 2031 and high income country status by 2041. As we celebrated the golden jubilee of our independence in 2021 and celebrating the birth centennial of our founding father Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, I can echo the dream of the 170 million people of Bangladesh, which is the dream sowed by Bangabandhu, our father of the nation, that we will soon become a prosperous, knowledge based, technologically skilled Golden Bangladesh, Sonar Bangla. I wish every success of today's event and I look forward to hearing valuable comments from our panelists and thank you all for your patience hearing. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu.
Using technology.
Your image is off and you can't hear.
You can't hear?
Okay.
I think I have to repeat because for some technical problem we could not hear me. Excellencies, distinguished guests, I take this opportunity to reiterate the theme of International Mother Language Day 2022, using technology for multilingual learning, challenges and opportunities. We just heard our ambassador speaking on this on the Bangladesh perspective. It is my distinct pleasure and great honor to invite now Madam Marlova, Director and Representative of UNESCO Brazil, to deliver her speech. She has been a state first and true friend of Bangladesh, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Alova.
Thank you very much, Samia. It's a real pleasure for us to be here with the Embassy of Bangladesh once again, celebrating the International Mother Language Day. It's already our fourth celebration together. It's becoming a tradition already to have this enormous pleasure of working with you, the Embassy of Bangladesh in Brazil, to celebrate this important day. My dear Ambassador Sadia Faisonesa, my distinguished and dear friend Renata, the head of international affairs, Renata Zucchini, from the government of GDF. Muito obrigada, Renata, por estar conosco hoje. Dear Ambassador Shabir Ahmad Choudhury, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, joining us from Dhaka. Thank you for being with us this morning. Dear Commodore Mishbash, with us as well. And estimado Eddie Ávila, el director de Activismo Línguas, Global Voices from Cochabamba, Bolívia. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros nesta mañana. And let me also thank the Ambassador of France to Brazil, Madame Brigitte Collet, merci beaucoup, Madame Ambassadrice, the Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Brazil, Sumida Sayanaki, and the Ambassador of the United Kingdom to Brazil, who the three of them join us later with messages to celebrate the International Mother Language Day, Ambassador of UK, Mr. Peter Wilson. It's a great pleasure and honor to be with you celebrating the International Mother Language Day. The idea to celebrate the International Mother Language Day was the initiative of Bangladesh, and it was approved at the UNESCO General Conference at 1999. This marks an important moment, and we are very proud to work with the Embassy of Bangladesh and the government of the Federal District to organize this event. As I said, it is our fourth event together, and I want to thank all of you that got together to help us organize this important morning celebrating International Mother Language Day. The International Mother Language Day recognizes that languages and multilingualism can advance inclusion, can advance and contribute to education and to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, focus on leaving no one behind. The Agenda 2030 of the United Nations has this important motto of leaving no one behind. And multilingualism can be advanced using different technologies. And for us at UNESCO, we believe that education based on the first language or mother tongue must begin from the early years, as early childhood care and education is the foundation of learning. The theme of the 2022 International Mother Language Day, Using Technology for Multilingual Learning, Challenges and Opportunities, raises the potential role of technology to advance multilingual education and support the development of quality teaching and learning for all. Technologies has the potential to address some of the greatest challenges in education today. It can accelerate efforts towards ensuring equitable and inclusive lifelong learning opportunities for all if it's guided by the core principles of inclusion and equity. Multilingual education based on mother tongue is a key component of inclusion in education. And during the COVID pandemic, we were able to see that our inequalities were deepening. We all faced challenges that were unprecedented in lives before, and teachers had to work with new technologies. Students have to get adapted to the challenges that the pandemic and the closure of the schools brought. So during COVID 19, many countries around the world employ technology based solutions to maintain continuity of learning. Technology was a great ally during the pandemic. In a recent UNESCO, UNICEF, World Bank, and OECD survey on national education responses to COVID 19 school closures in 143 countries showed that 96% of high-income countries provided remote learning through online platforms for at least one education level, compared to only 85% of low-income countries. Those differences that reinforce that inequalities are a huge problem, and we can work through technology also to help ease those differences. In low income countries and contexts, the majority of countries reported using broadcast media such television and radio to support continuity of learning. But it's true that all of us were very challenged by the difficulties the pandemic brought. And in this new and challenging context brought by the outbreak of the COVID, teachers lacked skills and readiness for using distance teaching. And also the students in many countries, they lack the proper devices, the equipment, the connectivity packages. So many learners were faced with difficulties, either because of, as I said, the lack of internet access, the necessary equipment, the accessible materials, the adapted content, and even the human support that is needed and would have allowed them to follow distance learning. Moreover, distance learning and distance teaching and distance tools, programs, and contents are not always able to reflect language diversity, and that becomes an extra challenge. For UNESCO, the designing of digital tools in several languages, the supporting of media development, and the supporting of access to connectivity need to be done so that people can discover different languages without giving up their respective mother tongues. We should also remember that languages, with their complex implication for identity, communication, social integration, education, and development, are of strategic importance for people and for the planet and for cultural diversity. Yet, due to globalization processes, they are increasingly under threat, either of disappearing altogether or to reduce more and more the number of speakers. We must be vigilant. We must be very, very attentive to the fact that there are risks for different languages. When languages fade, so does the world's rich tapestry of cultural diversity. Opportunities, traditions, memory, unique modes of thinking and expression can also disappear. They are valuable resources for ensuring a better future, and they can be also lost. So it is our duty to preserve and maintain the importance of the different languages, which are at the core of diversity, but also part of the immense richness of the world. Every 2 weeks, a language disappears, taking with it an entire cultural and intellectual heritage. At least 43% of the estimated 6,000 languages spoken in the world are endangered. This is a lot. Only a few hundred languages have genuinely been given a place in education systems in the public domain, and less than 100 are used in the digital world. Let's not forget that. This year, the International Mother Language Day celebration also aims to inform UNESCO's work on languages and multilingualism across all of UNESCO's program sectors. UNESCO's support to multilingualism includes the development and safeguarding of indigenous cultural heritage, as well as international transmission of indigenous knowledge and languages. It is very important that we do not forget that UNESCO is the leader of the Decade of indigenous languages and coordinates its implementation through the Global Action Plan of the Decade that is currently taking place from 2022 to 2032. We are precisely in the Decade of Indigenous Languages. UNESCO calls for the celebration of the world in all its diversity in support of multilingualism in everyday life. In the same spirit, UNESCO encourages everyone to take advantage of this day to celebrate the richness of humanities, languages, and culture, reminding that the richness of the languages also bring the richness of the culture. By bringing their speakers closer together, by allowing them to flourish in a shared context, mother tongues generates social inclusion, innovation, and foster imagination. They also breathe life into cultural diversity and serve as an instrument to celebrate and promote the culture of peace. Let's not forget the importance of the Mother Language Day. A Unesco incentiva todos vocês para celebrar conosco o Dia Internacional da Língua Materna, destacando, como eu disse, o trabalho feito pela Unesco sobre idiomas e multilinguismo. O apoio da Unesco ao multilinguismo inclui o desenvolvimento e a transmissão intergeracional de conhecimentos, a preservação também das línguas indígenas, como eu mencionei, nós estamos vivendo a década das línguas indígenas, e a Unesco lembra a todos que, ao celebrar esta data, celebramos a riqueza das línguas e da cultura da humanidade. Essa diversidade extraordinária do mundo, que, ao aproximar os seus diversos falantes, permite que floresçam em um contexto compartilhado, onde as línguas maternas contribuem para gerar inclusão social, inovação, estimular a imaginação e respeitar a diversidade e a cultura de cada um e de cada povo. As línguas também dão vida, portanto, não só a diversidade cultural e a sua riqueza, mas servem como instrumentos para celebrar a paz. Thank you very much for all of you that are together with us celebrating the International Mother Language Day. Thank you to the Embassy of Bangladesh, our dear partner in this celebration. and the important role that Bangladesh took in this recognition of the International Mother Language Day. It is for us, dear Ambassador Sadia, a great pleasure to be together once again. Muito obrigada, abraço a todos.
Muito obrigada para você, Madam Malova. Thank you for your very beautiful words and also for giving us an overview on UNESCO's activities in fostering and flourishing the languages in the world and also for promoting multilingualism, including the ethnic languages of the world. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now see a video message. We have received a video message from Ms. Renata Joaquim. She is the head of international affairs of the GDF. It is my great pleasure to present her video remarks.
O Dia Internacional da Língua Materna, comemorado em 21 de fevereiro, é um marco mundial de consciência sobre a identidade dos povos. A variedade de idiomas existentes é uma evidência de nossas origens e atesta o potencial humano para se comunicar. Para o Distrito Federal, essa data é motivo de orgulho, pois abrigamos em nosso território mais de 130 representações diplomáticas representantes das mais diversas raízes linguísticas. Nesse dia também é importante lembrar que a inclusão dessa data no calendário mundial por meio da Unesco é uma homenagem à conquista do povo de Bangladesh em ter a sua língua materna, o Bengali, como língua oficial. Em nome do governador Ibanez Rocha e do governo do Distrito Federal, parabenizo a Unesco e Bangladesh pelo zelo com que valorizam a identidade cultural de seus povos e nações.
We thank the GDF for their wholehearted support, as always. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Till now, we have heard from our hosts, and now we are going to hear from our guest from Bangladesh. And it is our distinct pleasure and honor that we have with us today from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dhaka, Ambassador Shabir Ahmed Chaudhry, our respected Secretary West, who oversees Europe and Americas, as I have mentioned earlier. May I now humbly request Excellency, Excellency Ambassador Shabir Ahmed Chaudhry to kindly speak a few words.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. Her Excellency, Mrs. Sadia Faizan Nisa, Ambassador of the People's Republic of Bangladesh in Brazil, my colleague Samia Ishrat Rani, Commodore Misbah, Defense Advisor of the Bangladesh Embassy, Madame Marlova Noleto, Director of UNESCO, Mr. Eddie Avila, Beatrice Coelho from UNESCO, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all my brothers and sisters who are connected virtually to today's program. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening from Bangladesh. First, I'd like to convey my deep condolences for our brothers and sisters of Brazil who recently lost their lives in a devastating landslide. In this auspicious occasion, I recall with great admiration and gratitude the greatest Bengali of all times, father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who also spearheaded the language movement and eventually established Bangla as one of the official languages of the then Pakistan. I also recall with deep homage to all the language martyrs who sacrificed their lives similarly to establish Bangla as our mother tongue and as the official language. May Almighty Allah grant them Jannatul Firdaus, that is the highest honor in the eternal life hereafter. In today's occasion, I'd like to thank the ambassador that she organized this event only few weeks after presenting her credentials. It was very thoughtful of her, and I'd like to specially thank UNESCO and GDF to help organize this event. In fact, you all know that UNESCO was instrumental and one of the key institutions in establishing 21st February as the International Mother's Language Day, which used to be celebrated from 1952 to 1999 as the Language Martyrs Day in Bangladesh. Now it is internationally celebrated since the year 2000. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to specially thank Sadia Fazilnesa and Mrs. Marlova Noleto for their very comprehensive and very informative deliberation. I'm truly inspired by their deliberation, and I'm sure that it will help the young students and those who organize education, that how this, especially the digital technology, can play a very important role in the proper system of education. I'm proud to be able to say that I speak in Bangla, a language whose alphabets are soaked in the blood of those young people who did not think twice before laying down their lives on the 21st of February, 1952. This supreme sacrifice granted us all in this land the right to speak in my own mother tongue. The 1952 language movement, however, was not merely a call for establishing the rights to speak in the mother tongue. It was much more than that. It was the thrust that made our people rightfully aware and conscious about their existence as a nation. It was very important when people truly realized the essence of cultural emancipation. Today, I can strongly state that without 1952, there would not have been a 1971 for us, when an independent Bangladesh was born. Without the longing for cultural emancipation, the urge towards political and economic liberation would not have been paved. The 21st of February is too close to our hearts. Each and every Bengali will vouch to that. The 21st of February, which was only our day of remembrance, gained international recognition in 1999 when UNESCO member countries adopted 21st February as the International Mother Language Day, as a symbol of global efforts to preserve and protect the wealth and diversity of all languages around the world. Since 1999, the International Mother Language Day has gone beyond all political boundaries. February 21st is now a symbol of global awareness to recognize multilinguistic diversity and promote multicultural consciousness. I commend the work of UNESCO and millions of people all around the world who are working to protect and preserve the linguistic and cultural heritage of mankind. It is from this perspective that we, through our embassies and consulates around the world, celebrate the International Mother Language Day. I would like to express my deep gratitude to GDF Brasilia and UNESCO Brazil for their cooperation in organizing this event in Brasilia. I am also thankful to the government of Brasilia DF for allocating a place to construct the Language Martyrs Monument. We hope to begin the construction once the global COVID pandemic is over. Excellencies, you are aware that 2021 was the 50th anniversary of our glorious independence, and 2022 was the birth centenary of our father of the nation. Due to the global pandemic, the celebrations of these two occasions remained limited to virtual events following all COVID-related restrictions. However, since the later part of 2021, while Bangladesh has been successfully coping with the management and coping with the COVID-19 situation in Bangladesh, we have been gradually opening to having in-person programs. We successfully held the first ever World Peace Conference in Dhaka in a blended format, that is both virtually and in person. The government has undertaken special programs to celebrate 2021 and 2022, the Golden Jubilee year. Ladies and gentlemen, 2022 marks the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh-Brazil diplomatic relations, and we would be working to further deepening and strengthening the relations between our two friendly nations and explore newer avenues of cooperation. I hope that our embassy in Brasilia will continue its ventures to uphold the history, heritage, and culture of Bangladesh in Brazil and in the greater Latin American continent. And in the near future, we will have bigger events to celebrate Bangladesh and Bangla culture. On that note, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Long live Bangladesh-Brazil friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, respected Secretary, for your valuable remarks. Excellencies, distinguished guests, it is my great pleasure to present before you video messages from three distinguished personalities now. We have Her Excellency Brigitte Collet, the Ambassador of France to Brazil, His Excellency Sumit Dasanayake, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Brazil, and His Excellency Peter Wilson, Ambassador of the United Kingdom to Brazil. We will now hear from them.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Brigitte Collet et je suis l'ambassadrice de France au Brésil. Je suis ravie de participer aujourd'hui à la célébration de la Journée internationale de la langue maternelle. Elle offre une belle occasion de célébrer ensemble la diversité et le multilinguisme partout dans le monde. Je tiens à féliciter l'ambassade du Bangladesh et l'UNESCO au Brésil pour leur initiative. Tous mes vœux.
On behalf of the Ambassador of Sri Lanka in Brazil, I wish to extend my felicitations to Ambassador of Bangladesh in Brazil as well as UNESCO Brazil for organizing International Mother Language Day in Brazil. Now, I wish to extend my felicitation in my own language, Sinhala language. Ayubowan. Brazil Sri Lanka තානාපතිවරයා වශයෙන් මම ජාත්‍යන්තර භාෂා දිනය සංවිධානය කිරීම පිළිබඳව බ්‍රසීලයේ බංග්ලාදේශ තානාපතිතුමියට සහ යුනෙස්කෝ බ්‍රසීලියා ආයතනයට ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජය වෙනුවෙන් අපගේ උණුසුම් සුබපැතුම් ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා. ඒ වගේම මෙම වැදගත් අවස්ථාව ඉතාමත්ම සාර්ථකව ඉටු වේවා කියා ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජය වෙනුවෙනුත් බ්‍රසීලයේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා තානාපති කාර්යාලය වෙනුවෙනුත් මම සුබපැතුම් එක් කරනවා. බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
Hello, my name is Peter Wilson. I'm the British ambassador here in Brasilia, and I just wanted to say a very, very strong word of support for the initiative by the Bangladeshi Embassy and UNESCO to celebrate International Maternal Language Day. We have two maternal languages in my household, English, which is my maternal language, and Portuguese, which is my children's maternal language. So this day is very, very important for me personally. And I wanted to say a particularly happy Ekushe February and a particular shout out to the Bangladeshi Embassy and your wonderful new ambassador. We work very closely together around the world and have a very strong relationship. So today is my chance to say thank you for that too. Bye for now.
Wasn't it wonderful? So happy to hear from friends always. My very sincere gratitude to Excellencies for your kind remarks. Excellencies and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen from all over the world. I'm very delighted to inform you that today we have with us Mr. Eddie Avila, the Director of Activismo Linguas Initiative or the Global Voices. The Activismo Linguas Initiative is an online platform based in Bolivia which works with digital activism to protect and revitalize ethnic languages in Bolivia. But for their efforts, the initiative won the first International Mother Language Award in 2021. Today we have Mr. Avila with us, who will speak about his efforts, his activities, his works, which has made the world proud. The world will always remember you, Mr. Avila. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eddie Avila.
Many thanks. Greetings to all excellencies and distinguished guests. All protocols observed. I'm really happy to be here 1 year later. I was here at the same event a year shortly after receiving our organization receiving the International Mother Language Award, which is a great honor. But more importantly, it was an opportunity to recognize the hard work of the networks of language digital activism here in Latin America, but also growing around the world. So it was a great tribute to their work of individuals and communities using technology and digital media to promote their languages online. And I think we've seen, as is the topic of this wonderful event, about the opportunities and challenges of using technology for promoting indigenous languages. And so for International Mother Language Day for us is very important for Rising Voices. Over the past several years, we've run a number of social media campaigns as a way to encourage young people to begin to use their language in digital spaces. For example, we promoted a campaign to use Twitter, and a few years later, we partnered with many different organizations around the world to do a mother language meme challenge, where young people around the world could create a meme in their own language, use it online to showcase their language, but more importantly, to encourage others to use their language in this fun, special way. So as we begin the International Decade of Indigenous Languages, we reflect back upon 1 year ago when we received the award, and it really became a springboard to encourage more activities. And so since then, we partnered with UNESCO and the Paris office to develop a language digital activism toolkit, which is built off the experiences of our exceptional networks to share their experiences, their best practices, and to showcase strategies for communities that want to start using technology and the internet to promote their languages. And so at the end of last year, we ran a series of 7 virtual workshops. Due to the pandemic, we weren't able to do anything in person, but we ran 7 workshops in 7 distinct regions around the world. And it was a great opportunity for like-minded people who speak an indigenous language to meet others and to strategize on the best way to use technology and the internet. Because there's so many options, so many different tools, so many different platforms that sometimes it can be very confusing to know which platform to use for the language. And so that served as a great example to how can we continue to build these networks and support their work. And looking forward to this year, some of the projects and activities we'll be running this year. We'll be relaunching our global directory of projects around the world. And so it's a way to not only recognize and amplify the amazing stories that are happening around the world, people using different platforms, different technologies for the language, but it's a way for others to connect with others. So you can see all the languages, all the projects that are being used in Brazil, for example. You could search by language, you can search by tool. And so we really hope that's a way to inspire more people to use technology for the language. We'll also be running a series of showcase events where we'll be highlighting projects through webinars and allowing people to learn from firsthand presentations from the language activists showcasing their work. And then finally, we'll be continuing these workshops not only virtually, but as the conditions improve, we'll be running a series of in-person workshops where, again, people can connect with like-minded people and be inspired to promote their language through technology. So again, I think while a decade may seem like it's a long time, but I think for many communities, it's still an urgent time to find new strategies, to find new alliances, new ways to encourage young people, especially, to keep their language, but also to revitalize it. Because I think our mission with Rising Voices and Activismo Linguas Project is to connect people and to promote peer learning, because I think that has the greatest impact for change. To hear someone else who was in your shoes before, to hear about their challenges, to hear about their strategies to overcome those challenges is really important, and it can only strengthen those ties between communities. So again, we're really pleased to continue this association with the Bangladesh government, especially the embassy in Brasilia. Really appreciate and value not only the connection, but also the friendship we've developed. And we're really, again, proud and honored to have received the award, and hopefully it can become further amplification, replication, not only in Latin America, but around the world. So thank you again, and happy International Mother Language Day to everyone who's celebrating. Thank you.
My sincere apologies. And I have to go back again. Thank you, Mr. Eddie Avila, for your brilliant remarks. We are now approaching the second segment of the celebration this morning. And as I was mentioning, that we are telecasting live from the Bangabandhu Corner and the Bangabandhu Memorial Library here in the Embassy of Bangladesh in Brasilia. We have been receiving messages through YouTube and through Facebook from all around the world, from Brazil and from other parts of the world as well. And we have been getting commitments from young people. Actually, they are vowing to protect all languages. And this is actually the essence of this day. And with kind permission of you all, I'd like to say that this is what we wanted to disseminate through this day, through this celebration. And I think to some extent, we are going on that way. So we can give us all ourselves a silent clap for that. And we have some more messages. And it is a video message. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please believe me when I say that these messages are from the future global dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of us.
Hallo, ik ben Noah. Ik kom uit Nederland en dat vind ik heel erg leuk. Hallo, ik ben Mai. Ik kom uit Nederland. In Nederland spreken we Nederlands. Dat vinden we een hele leuke taal. Doei!
안녕하세요. 전 장윤성입니다.
안녕하세요. 전 장양정입니다.
우리는 대한민국에서 왔습니다.
우리는 한국어를 좋아합니다. नमस्ते, मेरा नाम सिन्नी है। मेरे जैसा है हिंदी है। Happy Mother's Language Day.
Selamat sejahtera, saya Hanina saya berasal daripada Malaysia dan saya sayang bahasa saya.
Selamat नमस्कार. माझे नाव गायगी देवरे. माझे नाव मैथिली देवरे आणि मी मराठी बोलते आणि मी पण.
सत श्री अकाल, मेरा नाम है युवराज सिंह एंड मेरा मम्मा पापा दादू दादी बहुत सारे पंजाबी स्पीक करते हैं पर एंड मैं बहुत खुश है पंजाबी नाल. तुसी लर्न करने पंजाबी?
Soy Marisa, hablo español y estoy feliz de hablar español. Yo hablo español y estoy orgullosa de hablar español. Igual me soy coye, luego e tanto notícia e luego vem para Maia. Oi, meu nome é Pérola, eu sou brasileira e eu amo a língua portuguesa.
আমাদের দেশের নাম বাংলাদেশ, বাংলা আমার মায়ের ভাষা।
আমরা বাংলায় কথা বলি, আমরা বাংলা ভালোবাসি,
আমরা বাংলা
ভালোবাসি।
I thank the children on behalf of us all. Even though I cannot see our audience, I know our distinguished audiences all around the world will agree that these children really delivered the most important message of this day. No words are sweeter than the words in our mother tongue. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, due to some technical difficulties, we could not watch the full Ekusher Gan here. So we are again presenting before you, the embassy family, singing in chorus the Ekusher Gan. Amar bhayer rokte rangano 21 February, ami ki bhulite pari. And again, with a Brazilian Portuguese stanza, Vermelho com sangue do meu irmão, 21 de fevereiro, como posso esquecê-lo? Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to welcome you to the multicultural segment. From the Southern Hemisphere, the Embassy of Bangladesh in Brasilia, with the Government of Distrito Federal and the UNESCO in Brazil, welcomes you to the celebration of language and culture. We are proud to present before you a celebration of diversity. It is a humble reminder that although our lineage may vary and our cultural heritage may be diversified, but we are in fact a big human family spread across continents. We are greatly honored to host a mosaic of languages and arts from across the globe on this platform today. We have tried to showcase the richness that every culture holds. It is an effort on our part to illustrate our bonds of universal friendship. Many of us would not know all the languages spoken in the world, but it is the beauty of culture. Linguistic barriers are just spoken words. The language of music and dance is as universal as it can be. That's why we can always enjoy a dance, a music, because the language of music is universal. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my dear audience, we now present the Argentine Republic. Mariana and Thiago, they are coming on stage to enthrall us with a traditional tango. So there was Argentina. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the Federative Republic of Brazil. Yasmin and Alizon from Brasilia, they are going to come on stage to enthrall us with the traditional samba. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Brazil.
Samba meu foi se misturando, se modernizando e se perdeu. E o rebolado, cadê? Não tem mais, cadê o tal gingado que mexe com a gente? Coitado do meu samba, mudou de repente, influência do jazz. Qual meio moço ficou meio torto, influência do jazz. No afro cubano vai, complicando vai, provocando vai, vai enfeitando vai, sem descanso vai, cai, cai no balanço. Para, tero, papapero, porotero, dorotero, popero, 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 porotero. Pra não ser um samba com nota demais, não ser um samba torto pra frente e pra trás, vai ter que se virar pra poder se livrar da influência do jazz. Vai ter que se virar pra poder se livrar da influência do jazz, jazz, jazz. Vai ter que se virar pra poder se livrar da influência do jazz.
Excellencies, that was Brazil. The next country to come on stage is Cuba. Let us welcome Melquiade Hernandez from Compañía Danza with Salsa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy Cuban salsa.
Mami chula, vamos a hacerlo ahora o nunca. Dejemos el rodeo y vámonos lejos. Ellos no tienen que saber que tú y yo nos vemos. Oye, dejemos el rodeo y vámonos lejos. Ellos no tienen que saber que tú y yo nos vemos. Mami chula, yo sé que tú estás en mí, y aunque estoy con ella, yo estoy puesto para ti. Y es que tú estás en mí y yo en ti. Tú estás con él y yo con ella. Vamos esta noche a escaparnos. Tú me das la luz y nos desacatamos.
Es que tú estás en mí y yo en ti. Tú estás con él y yo con ella. Vamos esta noche a escaparnos. Tú me das la luz y nos desacatamos.
Esta es la industria salsera. Que mi mujer no se dé cuenta.
Ten cuidado si a tu amiga se lo cuenta.
No vaya a ser que se ponga para ti y nos tire para adelante, que tú y yo estamos saliendo. ¿Cómo que lo vamos a hacer, mami? ¿Tú estás segura que él no está acechando?
Es que tú estás en mí y yo en ti.
Dejemos el rodeo y vámonos lejos.
Con él y yo con ella.
Ellos no tienen que saber que nos vemos.
Tú estás en mí y yo en ti.
Tú pa' mí y yo pa' ti, y nos metemos en juego.
Y yo con ella.
Ay, no, mi chula, que sí. Lo prohibido sabe bueno.
Y yo en ti.
Tú te vas por la ventana, yo me escapo por la puerta.
Y yo con ella.
Vamos a hacerlo calladito pa' completar nuestra vuelta.
Y yo en ti.
Calla, mi amor, calla, calladito.
Con él y yo con ella.
Esta noche, mujer, te enseño los truquitos. Ay. Recoger la llamada de ese hombre.
Estar con él y yo con ella.
¿Hasta la cuenta es? Él no piensa dejarnos tranquilos.
Es que tú estás en mí y yo en ti.
Pero cuidado si lo estás echando por ahí.
Estar con él y yo con ella.
Apaga el celular, que voy para allá.
Vamos a hacerlo callado. Vamos a hacerlo callado, callado, callado. Vamos a hacerlo callado. Vamos a hacerlo callado, callado, callado.
¿Tú sabes quién es?
Chiquito Tipa.
That was Cuba. After the salsa, we present before you Egypt. Mr. Blizon from Helwa Dance and Art presents an Egyptian folk dance. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy Egypt. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now present before you Jamaica, presented by the dance group Pox Crew. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica.
Ce soir pas de dodo. Dodo. Ce soir pas de dodo. Dodo. Ce soir pas de dodo. Je veux ton cœur. Bébé, laisse-moi être l'homme, je sais comment faire. Tu sais que je sais comment faire pour faire tuer nos corps. Je veux ton corps. Bébé, pas de commentaires, yeah. Tu connais ton sort, je vais commencer tout doucement, comme ça. Tu connais tous mes mouvements, tout ça. Mais cette fois ce sera différent, crois-moi. Je vais faire un peu plus violent, ouais. Des années qu'on est ensemble, mais à chaque fois qu'on se touche on doit se choquer. Je connais bien ma femme, elle aime le chocolat, et pour la vie c'est moi son chocolat. Dodo, ce soir pas de dodo. Dodo, ce soir pas de dodo.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we present a performance from Bangladesh. Ms. Tushti Sarkar Choiti will perform to Aji Bangladesher Hridoy Hote Kokhon Apuni Tumi Ei Opurup Rupe Bahir Hole Janoni. Today you are reborn from the heart of Bangladesh. O Mother, you are born with immense beauty. Hoje você renasceu do coração de Bangladesh. O Mãe, você nasceu com imensa beleza. Ladies and gentlemen, Bangladesh.
শত বছরের বেদনার অশ্রু মুছি হেসে ওঠে স্বদেশ আমার।
স্বজন হারানো শোক বুকে নিয়ে মুক্তির সুখে ভোলে বিগত বেদনা।
আজ শুধু গান, শুধু আনন্দ, হাসি হুল্লোড়।
আজ কোনো কান্না নয়, বিজয়ের দিন আজ। মা, তুমি ভুলে যাও শোকের সব কষ্ট।
বাহির হলে জননী, ওগো মা তোমায় দেখে দেখে আঁখি না ফিরে, তোমার দুয়ার আজে খুলে গেছে সোনার মন্দিরে। ওগো মা, আজ বাংলাদেশের হৃদয় হতে কখন আপনি তুমি এই অপরূপ রূপে বাহির হলে জননী, ওগো মা তোমায় দেখে দেখে আঁখি না ফিরে, তোমার দুয়ার আজে খুলে গেছে সোনার মন্দিরে। ওগো মা, তোমার কি মূরতি আজি দেখি রে। ওগো মা, তোমার মুক্ত কেশের পুঞ্জ মেঘে ঢুকায় আসনি, তোমার আচল ঝলে রুদ্র তলে রুদ্র বসনি। ওগো মা, তোমায় দেখে দেখে আঁখি না ফিরে, তোমার দুয়ার আজে খুলে গেছে সোনার মন্দিরে। ওগো মা, ছিলাম দুঃখিনী মা, আছে ভাঙা ঘরে একলা পড়ে দুঃখের বুঝি নাই সীমা। যখন অনাদরে চাইনি মুখে ভেবেছিলাম দুঃখিনী মা, আছে ভাঙা ঘরে একলা পড়ে দুঃখের বুঝি নাই সীমা। কোথা সে তোর দরিদ্র বেশ, কোথা সে তোর মনে হাসি, কোথা সে তোর দরিদ্র বেশ, কোথা সে তোর মনে হাসি। আকাশে হাত ছড়িয়ে গেল ওই চরণের দীপ্তি রাশি। আজ দুঃখের রাতে সুখের শ্রুতি ভাষাও ধরণী, তোমার অভয় বাজে হৃদয় মাঝে হৃদয় ধরণী। ওগো মা তোমায় দেখে দেখে আঁখি না ফিরে, তোমার দুয়ার আজে খুলে গেছে সোনার মন্দিরে। ওগো মা আজ বাংলাদেশের হৃদয় হতে কখন আপনি তুমি এই অপরূপ রূপে বাহির হলে জননী। ওগো মা তোমায় দেখে দেখে আঁখি না ফিরে, তোমার দুয়ার আজে খুলে গেছে সোনার মন্দিরে। ওগো মা
That was Bangladesh. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with this, we have reached to the end of today's multicultural presentations. I would like to take this opportunity to convey Her Excellency Ambassador Sadia Faizal-Nesse's cordial thanks to all performers for doing such a wonderful job in representing their respective cultures. We would like to sincerely thank our respected Secretary West and also Director Renata Joachim from GDF for their valuable comments and remarks. Special thanks goes to Madam Malova Noleto, Director Representative UNESCO in Brazil, for the strong support. Along with that, we would also like to thank our lovely audience who have joined this virtual event from all corners of this world, giving our show the true essence of diversity. We understand that through the virtual platform, it is not possible to see the enthusiasm of our audience, but we can assure you that we are very happy to have you, our dear global audience, as part of this event. And we can see this through the messages that you have sent through YouTube and Facebook. We would also like to take this moment to specially thank Ms. Beatriz and Ms. Ana Teresa from UNESCO, Wanderson Rodriguez from the technical team, Mr. Rafael, Daniela, and Tarcísio, the videographers for the show, for bearing with us through the recordings, the editing, the re-editing, and then again going back to editing. That was a relentless process, but thank you very much. Our thanks to Mr. Ejiavela for being there for the languages of the world. I actually take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the world. This is a tremendous job that you are doing, and please continue to do it. We would like to convey a special thanks to our embassy team for working round the clock to make the International Mother Language Day 2022 virtual event a success. To conclude, our friends around the world, we hope that the Embassy of Bangladesh in Brasilia, through today's show, has been able to touch a string in your hearts. Because only then there will sprout a tune of melodious harmony, a harmony that will unify us despite the linguistic diversity and cultural variety of our wonderful, wonderful world. That harmonious journey is what we wanted to present before you today. It is, as always, a pleasure to be with you, with all of you. Thank you very much. Dhonnobad. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigada.